are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right, everyone. Good morning. This is Walter on iWalter, and it's going on 3 o'clock. It's actually 10 of 3 at this point. It is August 11th, 2015. Yeah, I guess I have a few things to talk about. It was interesting night, I will say the least. By the way, my feature presentation, which I actually, sorry, I have food on my back of my hands. That's disgusting. Now I'm eating it off. Isn't that really disgusting? Yeah, I started something like, I got this, some guy put up, really cool though. I get some guy. He's a really cool dude. So I apologize. I'm not trying to be a dick. Oh, great. I just lost my thing now. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, some guy. Right. No, it's this guy, Mark. He's really puts up some sweet deal stuff. Trying to look now because I want to get his name. I guess he's really into horror like I am, like classic horror too. Maybe I better move my seat down. Mike A. Brown. A, capital A, that's his middle name. He put up like some really cool stuff. He finds like the best stuff. A lot of these people do. And he put up like these classic horror films like from the 80s and the 70s and stuff. So I'm like looking through them. It took like a while. There's actually one that was a full length of a movie. And all it is special feature presentations from all these horror movies. But it was like an hour and a half worth of them he found on YouTube. So it was like, dude, this is so cool. I like this. So I was like, I got to make this the beginning of my make that feature presentation you used to see back in the day. Because I know, me and my one friend, Matt, we go to these horror fests, and they actually run that thing, that feature presentation thing. I think another friend, they actually put it, have you ever watched Grindhouse movie, the two Grindhouse movies? I know Grindhouse is actually a genre of movies, but I mean, Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, they did that Grindhouse movie, and they put that in as a joke in the movie. Yeah, actually, and it pulled up because I'm looking at this picture now. The one movie that the woman I love, she is so adorable, and she was so nice, did the original Wrong Turn. God, I can't remember her name. She is so cute, though, and she was so nice to me, which I'm not used to. I'm not used to people being nice to me. Trust me. I think I might have just lost my whole get-up for tonight. I just deleted it. I was actually funny. I was looking at other Macs. I'd like to get one of those Mac Pros, but who wants to pay between 10 and 20 grand for a new computer? I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to see if I can pull up my page again. Alrighty, that's the easiest way to do it. My main issue right now, I put all this memory in my system, and it gets really hot even by the slightest little bit of movement. So I might even just try to compensate and try to get some sort of a fan, like just a USB fan, and just plug it in and keep it nearby, because trust me, it gets really hot, and very quickly too. Because I got like 24 gigs of RAM. The thing is, for me to upgrade my computer any other way, it would just be a waste of money. I can buy, because I looked up the price what my computer's worth right now. It's worth like $150 for everything I have in it. And I paid a lot more than that over the years. And it's been really reliable. I mean, it's 7 years old now, the Mac Pro I have. It has not given me really any major issues. I think most of the problems I have are probably more software than anything else. And you can thank Mac for that. Anyway, yeah, I just want to, that's me, though. I didn't correct myself, too, because I was, mentioning about the Amy Winehouse movie, which I did buy, because one of the albums, I guess, what was mentioned, or maybe it was between me and a friend, was her Back to Black album, and it was actually really good. I was going to buy it on iTunes, and it was one, it's Back to Black and her more popular other two albums, and it was a one-shot deal. You get everything. You get BBC sessions, even though she is from England. What am I thinking? BBB sessions, everything, whole 9 yards for $30. It's a one-shot deal. They had it on iTunes. It's $30 is more than I intended to spend, because basically what I wanted to do was something to listen to at work. And it was do I really want to spend $30? So I'm going to move my seat down a little bit. Maybe I'll get a better, people can hear me better, because I'm trying to adjust myself towards the mic. And I don't know if this is going to do it or not, because I'm kind of low levels again. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I was I was trying to purchase. It was okay, $30 is more than I wanted to spend. But it's everything. And it was okay. And it said, well, this was from England. You can't buy it from the iTunes in England. We have to bring you back to the U.S. So somehow I had it screwed up from the other day trying to purchase some movie on iTunes from England, and it never reset itself. So I corrected it, and it was actually turning out a little bit better. I got Back in Black by Amy Winehouse. I keep on getting out wrong. And Back in Black, the B-sides, which both of them together were less than $12, and it's a lot of songs, and they were actually really good. The only thing is about Amy Winehouse that people don't realize, I guess, I thought she was distinct. Mainly her sound was not what I expected originally until I saw the movie, because the movie kind of portrayed her as just being strictly jazz, and I didn't even know that. But then when I got these two albums, she actually said it sounded more I don't know what time period that was, but I said to a guy at work, I said it sounded like the sock hop type movement back when my parents were younger. So I have to look and see if I can pull up an error for that. Sock hop collection, recreation. Okay, I guess that was around the 70s. So her sound for these Black albums is definitely more of a... Did I say 70s? It was more of a 50s. I meant 50s. That was in the 50s. Sound. Okay, it says in the late 50s and early 60s, teens hopped, bopped, and did the twist to love songs and sad songs, breakup and makeup songs. So, yeah, that was her sound for these Black albums. Wow, this is incredible. I didn't even know, she wasn't all jazz, but she was, and any of her stuff, it was it wasn't what you expected when you saw her. When you see her, the way they portrayed her in the media and stuff, they just made her as somebody who was basically an hip hop looking girl, but was just a complete buffoon. But when you actually listen to her music, though, it was wait a minute, this woman is really, incredibly smart. I mean, when you hear her talk, you can't understand a word she's saying, because she just sounds like she's got a bunch of marbles in her mouth, and that did not help her image too much. But once she started singing, it was just oh my God, this woman's incredible. So, from the movie, they portrayed more of her jazz sound. But when I bought the Black album, it was wait a minute, this is a whole different, is the word I want to use, perspective, that I didn't see before in the movie. So somebody asked me at work, a guy and a friend at work asked me, guy Mike, he said... Oh, God, I can't remember now. I just drew a blank. So, but he said something that kind of like I agreed with. Well, actually, I played one song for him that didn't sound like something she would sing. It was definitely like one of those, I guess it would be considered R&B, but it was like an old 50s song. And I said, you never guess who this is. And she guessed completely wrong. And I said, well, that, and I showed him, basically. It was Amy Winehouse. It was like, you know, he couldn't believe that. It was like, yeah, that's her. And everybody, like, when they see the image that was portrayed about Amy Winehouse and then they hear her voice, it was like, they can't imagine that that's really her. And it's like, yeah, it is. It really is Amy Winehouse. So I never knew what she was all about until that movie. But, and I apologize. I can't remember what this guy Mike said, that this kind of like he was surprised by, you know, how she sounded. But I guess the main point I wanted to even also mention was I mentioned yesterday in the movie that I have to correct myself, basically. I said, oh, Amy Winehouse basically was anorexic. No, but she did have an eating disorder. But her eating disorder wasn't she didn't have anorexia nervosa. It did seem at some point she kind of did, because she was so freaking skinny. No, but what I meant to say was she actually had bulimia. See, there's a difference. Anorexia nervosa is when you basically don't eat anything at all. Anything that's going to consume any type of calories is what's called anorexia nervosa. What she had was it's called binging and purging, which basically she would just eat and gouge until she was so full she was ready to pop. And then she would just go to the bathroom right away and just vomit it all up. That's called binging and purging. That's called bulimia. That's what she had, Amy Winehouse. And again, a friend mentioned, and I still can't remember the name. I was just conversing back and forth basically in voicemails all night, or voicemails with him all night. But I'm sorry, I'm looking at something because there was somebody else I wrote. Didn't really get a response back, which I'm not surprised. That she was one of the people. I'm gonna have to look that up too. Okay, yeah, I had she had added me, this woman Patty Mullen from that movie Frankenhooker, and I wrote her back and said, yeah, I collected everything you had. I was hoping to get a response, but she really didn't bother to write back anything at all. Probably scared her off, if anything. But hey, she at least added me. But anyway, yeah, going back to Amy Winehouse, I'm going to see if I can find this right now. She died at 27, so I'm going to look this up right now. Celebrities that died at age 27 years old. Because a friend said, yeah, that's the magic number. Okay, yeah, it's called the 27 Club. It says Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison all died at the age of 27 between 1969 and 1971. At the time, the coincidence gave rise to some comment, but it was not until the death of Kurt Cobain, about 2.5 decades later, that the idea of the 27 Club began to catch on in the public perception. But you know what? Now Amy Winehouse is in that group of the 27 Club. Actually, the club is pretty long. I'm looking at it right now, and it's on Wikipedia. And it says the 27 Club term refers to the number of popular musicians who died at age 27, often as a result of drug and alcohol abuse or violence means such as homicide or suicide. Oh boy, I got a couple stories on that tonight on homicides. Not with musicians though. The number of musicians who had died at this age and the circumstances of many of these deaths have been given rise to the idea that premature deaths at this age are usually common. The club has been repeatedly cited in music magazine journals and the daily press. Several expositions have been devoted to the ideal, as well as novels, films, and stage plays. There have been many different theories and speculations about the causes of such early deaths and their possible connections. Cobain and Hendrix, it says Cobain and Hendrix biographer Charles R. Cross writes, however, the study published in the British Medical Journal in December 2011 concluded that there were no increase in the risk of death for musicians at the age of 27, although the sampled musicians faced an increased risk of death in their 20s and 30s. This is not limited to the age of 27. It goes on, the origins was Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison, who all died at the age of 27. So it is a pretty long list if you look it up. People identify as being in the 27 club. There's a lot. Most of them I really don't know. But the bottom line was Amy Winehouse, July 23rd, 2011, alcohol poisoning. See, I thought it was drugs, too. It says alcohol poisoning. Singer-songwriter, 27 years, 312 days. Yeah, that's pretty weird, though. That's pretty, she is officially part of the 27 club. So I got to copy this and put it on my Facebook. But, but she did suffer from other things, too. The movie that I had just seen basically speculated that perhaps it was also from the drugs that her boyfriend / husband got her into, which was pretty heavily into coke and some other things too. Sorry about that. If I find something that kind of grabs my attention, it will just stop my show and bring it in a different direction. Like this one on the Daily Mail News. Enduring love, 4,000-year-old skeletons of mother and child are found locked, dying, embrace in China's Pompeii that was wiped out by an earthquake. And it's basically, it's a mother nestling her child as they basically got caught in Pompeii for that earthquake that killed a lot of people. It's a pretty cool picture, too. There's a lot of pictures, actually 8 of them if you want to check it out, which is now on my Facebook page on this Tuesday morning. I'm going to go back. Yeah, because there's a couple things. I would actually check out Mark, my friends on Facebook, because he's got some cool stuff. Speaking about, because I'm on this horror kick right now. A friend asked me, he invited me because his brother and him are going to go to Pennhurst for a photography tour this weekend on Saturday. And it's the last one they're doing for now. It's not going to be the very last one to be doing at Pennhurst, but it's like $100, which I think is just ridiculous. That's a lot of money for seeing basically empty buildings that are no longer vacant from a mental state institution. I think that's just a real pocket stealer, wallet stealer, or whatever. It's just they're sucking the money out of your wallet for what? To see a bunch of graffiti and a bunch of abandoned buildings that they claim are haunted, which they're not. That's pretty cruel. I mean, in some ways, I would have liked to do it if I could make some type of film documentary following those guys around, because I've been trying to pest them to do that. Unfortunately, though, I can't do it anyway because I'd buy some new tapes for my camera, my video camera, and start shooting some film while following them around. One, it's like the $100 is a bit steep, but I'm going to a concert at 6 o'clock, is when the doors open to I was ready to say Flock of Seagulls. It's not. Psychedelic Furs and actually the band The Church. It's like two bands I really liked growing up. And they're playing. It's like, okay, am I going to go in one direction of where I live, from where I live, which is only like 15 minutes away, but then I got to go all the way back home. It's probably more than 15. It's at least 20, 30 minutes. And then go all the way back home and go another direction to go to this concert. It's like, I can't do that. That's too much. And plus, it starts early in the morning, this tour guide thing they're doing. And it's just like, okay, that's just, that's too much. I can't do that. Anyway, I had on my Facebook page, too, on a different note, because I'm looking at it right now. That's why I'm reading this off. But they had something on, they're going to do like a retro look for the new series. Well, it's not new anymore. It's been on for like 3 seasons on BBC One, and it's Sherlock. And they're basically doing one where he is actually in the whole getup. The old style looking Sherlock with the top hat and that he wore, the Sherlock, which you would recognize him as Sherlock Holmes, and the coat and Dr. Watson. It's supposed to be a time looking piece because like Sherlock is a modern day, Sherlock Holmes. But they did this one special feature episode where he actually is in the whole getup from, back when Sherlock Holmes was, when he had that getup going for him. So I have that. There was a thing on BBC One about that. If you're interested, I got the link on my Facebook page again. It looks really cool, though. It does. I thought they might have more about it. It was actually on. It's actually on the BBC One's Facebook page. It looks like, yeah. Which I did not add myself to, which I just did now. Yeah, it's BBC One, a TV network, and it's on Facebook, and that's where it was. It came from. It's kind of weird how they send it to me, though. Or I found it, I mean. I guess because I am interested in Doctor Who. Yeah, so, yeah, that was pretty cool. It is pretty cool, I mean. What am I saying? Just still up. But, like I said, I'm going to a concert. A friend said he was going to go. Of all weekends, it had to be this weekend. You know what? I had a moment tonight. I told you about my Amy Winehouse. I bought those 2 albums. But I had this moment tonight, folks, where I, got a chance, I got a pat on the back, basically, from my 2 higher-ups, basically saying, hey, we don't know if anybody's, they separately came up at separate times. This one woman and this one man, they're like the top-notch people on my side of where I work, on my plant site that I work at. And they came up to me and they said, you know what, hey, we just want, again, not at the same time, we just want to give you knowledge, and we highly appreciate that I caught something that did save our company tons of money. It became an issue, but they were really glad I brought it to their attention. So, in that being said, I said to them individually that, hey, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm just looking out because if this job goes by the wayside, I'm screwed. I told them. I said, I'm making I'm the lowest paid person here. I said, I'm making $32 an hour, and I will not even make less than 1/4 of that, maybe a little bit more, but less than 1/4 of that on the real world outside. I'll make, what is it, a third of that maybe? I'll probably, if I go outside, I'll make about, looking for a job of any sort, I'll be making $10 an hour. I will not be making $32 an hour. I have people that are managers, supervisors, friends, and they make far less than I do. So, yeah, and I even said to these 2 higher-ups, I said to both of them, basically, yeah, I appreciate that you acknowledge it, but just to let you know, you're the only people that really do. And I said there was some certain coworkers in other buildings I heard, one in particular who told me I need to watch my back because basically I have a really big mouth and I got to watch my step. And they both told me, like, you know what, don't worry about it. The one manager said, I deal with this all the time. You got to learn how to rub it off. And it's like, it's not that easy, especially because in the building I work with, the people I work with, which I did make sure to make note of it. I didn't mention their names, but I said, they basically just ostracize me. They don't like me at all. And he says, that the one manager, because again, I said about a woman and a man. At this point, I've already done it, but I'm going to make it official. I'm just going to put him as one person, even though one was a male manager and one was a female, because I basically said the same thing to both of them. I said, yeah, it's like high school where they ostracize you. You got to be the cool kid, so you got to okay, who are we going to ostracize out of this group? So we're not the one getting picked on. And I told them that, and that pretty much in that sense. And I said, I feel like I'm in high school or, grade school or in college I dealt with that because I went to an all-girls school, Cabrini. Now, I can't speak for Cabrini now because I've been out of that school for over 12, 13 years, or almost 14 years. But I can speak for when I was there, and there was these girls that acted like five-year-olds. Not all of them, but a lot of them did. And one of the biggest things they had there was, because some girl basically directly looked at me when she said this. She said, oh, my God. Well, not oh, my God. She, in so many words or less, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember what she exactly said. But she basically said that, they're letting anybody in this school now. Basically, it's going downhill. We're now letting white trash in, basically. So I'm taking a swallow. I'm just parched. So she was referring to me, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. So I got that same mentality rate of that childlike behavior at work. And I told him, I said, listen, if this situation would have been ignored, this could have turned into another issue, which the company I work with had two major issues that cost them basically billions of dollars. So I said, I just try to avoid this because if they get in trouble, I get in trouble in the roundabout way. Maybe not directly, but I'll be out of a job and I'll be making $10 working at Walmart. Or at McDonald's, because probably they do at least give you $10 or $15. I don't know. So anyway, I'm looking out for myself, but I'm also looking at, I can't live with myself knowing that, I just let this slide because I need it to overtime. And I told this boss, too, that speaking about overtime, I said, there's an issue where these people are getting more time in than I am. And I told them right out, I said, listen, I don't care about the money. It's not the issue of the money. It's the principle behind what's going on. I told this manager, again, I'm going to make these two different higher ups one person. I told them that, my main issue that I need to get addressed is you got these people who are working all this overtime. They act like they have so much to do, but yet they don't have the time to help me when they're not doing anything, which is most of the time. And I told them, I said to these people that I am doing more work within 8 hours than they do on overtime, even 16 hours. And I might be getting 40 hours, less than 40 hours a week. They're getting 60, 70 hours a week. Probably more closer to 80 because they are working literally double after double, and they're working a plethora of overtime. And I said they're doing far less work than I am. And I said this doesn't make any sense, but yet they're complaining about all this work they have to do, and then they try to make up excuses. The one manager, separate him for this second, maybe more longer. The one manager I said this to, he started laughing and smiling, and he said, yeah, I know. He said, I was in the same position they were. Like I said, I'm basically a glorified janitor. These other people are called technicians. He said, oh, yeah, before I became the highest up in this department, he said, I was a technician too, and I know how long it takes to do certain procedures and processing and stuff. And he said, they're trying to tell me it takes them longer than it really does. And he started laughing because he basically understood what I was saying. And it was knowing me, if you don't know me from the off the radio, you know that I won't let a person get a word in edgewise, and I don't mean that in a bad way, especially to the higher ups. And trust me, I will admit that's one time I do have a big mouth because I won't hold back about the truth. I just something embedded in me from years ago when I wasn't allowed to talk. I think I discussed this before. I was at some mental state hospital, and I would not talk outside of these sessions or these group therapy things. I would talk outside, but not in these groups. And they said, okay, if you can't talk within the group, but you can talk outside the group, we're going to give you a talking restriction. That lasted about less than a few hours before I end up spazzing out like big time. So because of that situation that time, I now am like that, like all the time. Like, you know what? I can't stop. You know, it's like that one movie with I'm like that guy in the movie Jim Carrey, where it's Liar Liar, where he was like got a spell put on him that he cannot lie because he was like a compulsive liar, and somebody put a spell on him that he couldn't lie. Well, that's me now. Like, I can't fucking lie. And if I do lie, you can tell I'm lying. So it's not like, okay, oh yeah, you're a really good liar. No, I'm a horrible liar. So is that good or bad? I don't know. I guess that's probably a good thing because some people are such good liars, you can't tell they're lying. You know, like Obama. Oh, did I say that? See, I can't lie. I'm sorry. Whatever comes to my mind, that's pure id there, folks. So I'm getting some more soda. I'm drinking soda this early in the morning, 3 o'clock. Hear that? There we go. That's the end of a 2-liter bottle, folks, and I drank the whole fucking thing. So anyway, why I brought this up, and basically, the best way to put it to these people who are friendly assholes to me, you know, who are just total jerks, that I'm eventually just going to explode on them. I wish I could shit all over them, but seriously, I'm going to lose my temper, and it's going to be no way to hold it back because I'm like on a beyond the short fuse. It's like the fuse is so low down that it has nowhere else to go besides setting off the bomb. That's how far they pushed me. We used to call that, back when I was in mental state hospital, we used to call that pushing buttons. And they really do. I tell you, they're like keyboard operators. They're so good at pushing buttons. These idiots at my job that just drive me crazy. It's only a select few, trust me. I mean, I'd love to put them in, you know, like from AC/DC, those knickers that one guy would wear. I'd love to put the guys in knickers, the girls in little Sunday school dresses, and put the girls in pigtails, and the guys in like those shirts with the tie, like the guy from AC/DC, because their mentality rate is about that low. I mean, actually, that's an insult to little kids, though, because they're much more intelligent than these idiots at work, and these are professionals. I actually had the nerve to tell this one boss or higher up. I said these people act so immature. I said they're like not only in high school. Not that I don't, because I have one too, as a book bag, you know, those school bags. But they walk around like they're in high school still, like the book bag on their back, the way they dress inappropriately. I said this to the higher up, and, you know, he knew exactly what I was talking about. He was, you know, he realizes how bad it is. It's like grade school. So anyway, bringing that up, I wish I could pronounce this girl's name. She is so adorable. Her last name's Garcia. She's a girl that works in a different building across from it I used to work, and I had the biggest crush on her, too. Anyway, yeah, but her last name's Garcia. I figured she was Spanish, but I wasn't sure. And she was very quiet in front of me, so... but I had a big crush on her. Still do. But she posted today... I actually wrote her. I said, do you remember me from when I worked in the building with you? And she just kind of ignored it. So as one Fred said in college years ago, and it still holds true for me because this other guy got married. His name was ironically Matt, because I know a lot of Matts. And it was funny because this guy Matt that I knew, we were in a Chem 1 together, and after class or before class, we always made this joke. It's like, hey, we got a couple classes in between, or I was done for the day. I said, wouldn't that be kind of funny if we just go down, because right down from Cabrini College was what do you call it? It was called, it's Hooters. And I said, what would be kind of cool if we just went down to Hooters and got something to eat? Because it would be funny. Like, we're in a Catholic school, but we're going to a Hooters night, basically club, men's club, whatever you want to call it. It's a family restaurant. They say, yeah, right. A bunch of girls in short shorts with their asses hanging out and basically tops to push their breasts over the top. Yeah, that's a real family restaurant for any healthy family. For little boys. So anyway, we used to do that. But I really go off on different directions. I'm like a firework, just going off. I'm going in every different direction in many different ways. So that was this guy Matt. But yeah, what was I going to say? Well, yeah, we used to do that, but yeah, they were the good old days. I'm sorry. Wow. Whew, I lost my train of thought. So anyway, let me go back to what I was trying to say. But this girl, her last name's Garcia. I can't say her first name. I don't know if she goes by a different name, because sometimes if their names are hard to pronounce, they just call me so-and-so, like it's, simplified her name. Really cute girl. But she posted on her Facebook page, this girl, Garcia, this thing, like these little post-ins of like some picture, and it has a statement. Well, the statement she posted is, sometimes I can't figure out if I'm in preschool or high school. Oh, wait, I'm at work. So she wrote that, and it was like, okay, excuse me, you're on the same wavelength that I am. So, I was just like, I even adore her more for just putting that up. It's like, I actually commented back. She did like what I commented. Excuse me, because she knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? Something me and a friend kind of say, me and Matt. I know there's many Matts, but the one Matt that I talk to now, I think it's the only Matt in my list of Matts. I'm looking at this too because it's kind of funny. She's really just milking this, and this is an old movie that Patty Mullen. Everybody loves Patty Mullen she was on Howard Stern. She was the Penthouse Pet, and she was in two bad movies, but one was just like it's a classic now. It's a cult classic called Frankenhooker, and it was just so bad it was hilarious. And somebody posted, it said Jenny Cruz posted Patty Mullen in the getup, the costume from when she did the movie. She made these weird faces too, and it says Monday face, and it's pretty funny. So anyway, so I don't have too many stories, which is a good sign, I guess, for everybody. But yeah, what is it? There's a story I found from the Dream and Deem. I'm going to my stories now. I might go off on another wild goose chase or a side story, because you know me, I just can't keep my mind straight on one thing. This was on August 10th, which was yesterday, I think. Yes, it was yesterday. Daniel Cox accused of beating his 4-month-old son to death while driving. And I said, well, at least he didn't get in a car accident. At least he kept his eyes on the road. I was being sarcastic. That was really bad. It says Elizabethtown, Kentucky, I guess. What is KY? Besides something I actually use every night on myself. But yeah, what is KY? Is that Kentucky? Daniel Cox is behind bars after the 33-year-old was accused of beating his 4-month-old son while he was driving. Well, hey, I'm telling you, as long as he didn't get in a car accident, that would be probably pretty impressive. According to reports, witnesses observed Cox hitting his infant son. Oh, God, he's got one of these weird names for his kid. Jason Christie, several times with his hand as the child was in a car seat in the front passenger seat of the car, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to put the kid in the back in the car seat. They were so disturbed by what they witnessed that they called 911 to report it. It says, quote unquote, my wife and I were heading on 31 West and witnessed a guy look like he was striking something in the back seat of the car, but they said it was in the front. I assumed that it was the infant or toddler. I can't say certain words. What can I say? The way he was striking it, the witnesses said, but couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It says it twice. Police looked for Cox's vehicle, but before they could find it, another call came in from the home of the boy's mother. She called 911 to report Cox had dropped their son off in the driveway after having home. Why having home? Having home for only a couple hours, and the boy was black and blue and unresponsive. Sorry about it. I got to take a breather on this one. I'm so sorry. When paramedics arrived, Jocelyn was not breathing and had no pulse. His left eye was swollen shut. His right cheek was swollen, and he had major bruises on his back and buttocks. According to the police report, Jocelyn was taken to Hardin Memorial Hospital in critical condition and would die on Saturday from inflicted traumatic injuries to the head. Cox was initially arrested and charged with first-degree criminal abuse of a child. He is now facing murder charges and is being held in Hardin County Detention Center for $500,000 bond. Yeah. It takes a real piece of shit to beat a baby to death as they are strapped in the car seat. Now, that's what it actually says on this Dream and Deal. I'm not making this one up. Before dumping them off in a driveway before running away. So the guy beat the shit out of the kid, basically, and then just dropped it off in the driveway and left it to basically die. So, but you know what the interesting thing is? The guy did not get in the car accident. I know I'm beating that story, no puns intended. I'm beating that story to death on at least he didn't get in a car accident. I know. Anyway, I had this picture I had to post up. I stole this from Kitty Works. And it's a bunch of cats. There's like 3 cats. And they're in the bathroom. They're everywhere in the bathroom. Like one's on top of the toilet. One's on the top of the seat of the toilet. I can't say that word right. Sorry. And one's in the sink. And it says everywhere and all the time. So I basically gave them names. I gave them the name of my mother, my father, and my aunt. They're all freaking crazy. And I sent it to a friend and put it on his Facebook page. God, that soda's great. I had to pull something from MeTVNetwork.com. Do you know your TV robots? And it has the robot from Lost in Space. Quiz, do you know your TV robots? Lost in Space is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and the robot still looks great. He hasn't aged a day. Well, no shit, Sherlock. He was not the first robot actor. The first fictional robot role of the assembly line in 1921 is Carl Chapek's stage drama, capital R, capital U, capital R. It's like some type of hyphen. A few years later, I didn't want to read this one, but I guess I got to now because I got myself even. Because I know it was called Robbie the Robot. A few years later, the Golden Mary appeared in Metropolis. Since then, androids, cyborgs, and robots have been a constant part of pop culture, from C-3PO to hip-hop. Robbie the Robot was a Hollywood regular. That's the one from Lost in Space. Initially appearing, I remember this one. I did see that somewhere else. Initially, basically, Robbie the Robot appearing in Forbidden Planet, which you know what Forbidden Planet was about. If you don't know, that's a good trivia right there. I believe that's where Star Trek came out of, basically. It had nothing to do with each other, but apparently I heard somewhere that the Forbidden Planet is actually where they came up with the idea for Star Trek. I'm not even kidding. I thought I heard that. And popping up in the Twilight Zone, the Addams Family, Columbo, Mork and Mindy, and more. Television robots have been big and small, boxy and humanoid. How well do you remember them, TV lovers? Need more robots? Watch Lost in Space Saturdays at midnight, 11 Central on MeTV. I almost said MTV. Anyway, yeah, the other one was Twiggy, which I could watch that show a million times because I'm going to do this test. Twiggy, because that was a show that the woman I lusted for years, Erin Gray, came from. The next one is Muppet 2. Not Muppet, but Muppet. That was actually Battlestar Galactica. I'm taking this test while I'm on there. I don't care. Robot B9 was Lost in Space. Okay, I got that right. Here's one I do know. K9 was obviously Doctor Who. Correct. Vicky was from Small Wonder. Correct. See, I know my robots. Crow and Tom Servo. They were these robots from Mystery Science 3000. I got it right. Jaime, I know this one too. I am too good at this stuff. Was from Get Smart. Yeah, it was Jaime. Kevin was from... no, this one I don't know. Saved by the Bell. Didn't know that one. Sasquatch was from The $6 Million Man. Raina was from Star Trek, I think. Yes. And REM was from Space 19... REM was from Space 1999. Oh, I was wrong. Logan's Run. I got 2 wrong so far. So I got 9 out of 11, though. That's pretty good. So, not that you're interested, but hey, I have to have some fun. Well, the whole thing's supposed to be fun. It's my show. So, yeah, you know what? I don't know if this is from the TV series, but MeTV also put something else up, Spider-Man. And it looks like the guy from the TV series, because I remember watching a little bit of it back in the day. Spider-Man first appeared on this day in 1962 in Amazing Fantasy number 15. Were any of you lucky enough to have a copy? Because I was born in 67. I didn't realize Spider-Man's not that old. Hope your mom didn't throw it away. Which did you like more, the 1967 Spider-Man cartoon or the 1977 live-action show? Okay, so there's a picture on MeTV's website of the one from 1977. I remember that show. Yes, we have that theme song stuck in our heads now, too. So, yeah, there was a cartoon and there was a live-action series back in 77, which I did watch. Another interesting story, because I'm going to go back to the doom and gloom probably eventually. Radio Times, William Shatner used all those Spock selfies to create an incredible Leonard Nimoy tribute. And basically what it is, the Star Trek actor had put together a montage made up of live log and prosper photos sent in by fans. So every photo he got from fans, he actually made a selfie of himself as Spock from all the amount of pictures sent to him that were big Spock fans. So that's really cool, actually. And that's on Radio Times. You can see the picture, the selfie picture he made of himself from all the smaller pictures. I don't know how many there was, because that's got to be an awful lot. But there's like an article underneath. I'm not going to destroy it, but I just thought it was really cool. Okay, I got some doom and gloom stories. Yay, I love these doom and gloom stories. I tell you, I'm just so sick. And it goes with that feature presentation thing I played in the beginning of my show, because that actually was from all these horror movies, from the 70s and 80s. They used that as the beginning part of showing you these little trailers. David Conley murdered his son and ex-wife, her 5 children, and new husband. That was on yesterday's news. Houston, Texas. Police have arrested a 49-year-old David Conley after he admitted to breaking into his ex-girlfriend's home and killing her along with her new husband and 6 children. Police say the first showed up at home of Valerie Jackson on Saturday morning after receiving a phone call from Jackson's sister, who was concerned to learn that her sister's ex, Conley, was at her sister's home. Conley and Jackson had a tumultuous relationship over the years, marked with a series of domestic assaults that included Conley bashing Jackson's head into a refrigerator and Conley serving some time for wrapping an electrical cord around a baby's throat. Jackson finally had enough in July and kicked Conley out and changed the locks. I'm going to take a little breather there. Police would visit the home several times that day, but would find no need to make a forced entry until officers looked through the window and saw a child lying on the ground inside. Once the deputies made their way into the home, they made a quick retreat after Conley opened fire on them. It wasn't until a few hours later that Conley finally exited the home after a negotiator was able to talk him out of the house. Once inside, police would find the dead bodies of Valerie Jackson, 40, her husband Dwayne Jackson, 50, Dwayne Jackson Jr., 10, Nathaniel Jackson, 13, Honesty Jackson, 11, Caleb Jackson, 9, Trinity Jackson, 7, and Joanna Jackson, 6. Investigators said that Conley admitted to breaking into the home through an open window, then restrained all the victims with handcuffs before shooting each of them in the back of the head. Conley is currently being held in Harris County Jail without bond, and he had been charged with multiple counts of capital murder. So I wonder, does this mean he's only going to get like 6 weeks in prison or something? I don't know, because it doesn't seem too serious to me. You know I'm being sarcastic, by the way. There's a quote here. We cannot fully comprehend. It actually says both. Comprehend the motivation of the individual that would take the lives of so many innocent people, especially the lives of the youngest. Harris County Chief Deputy Tim Cannon said on Sunday. As you might suspect, Conley has a very long rap sheet, including multiple domestic assaults and convictions of aggravated robbery, invading arrest, and drug charges. And there's actually a video that goes with that, by the way. If you want to see it, it's on the Dreamin' Demon. Alrighty, here's another one. Dreamin' Demon once again. I gotta figure out what this devil baby thing is on here. John D. Witter murdered girlfriend with a machete in front of her daughters. This was in Montgomery County, Texas. Because when I saw the word Montgomery County, I thought it might have been around here. I was like, whoa, this is kind of scary. And then when I seen his name, I thought it said John Deere, but it's John D. Witter. Has been arrested after police say the 31-year-old used a machete to viciously murder his girlfriend in front of his her two younger daughters. According to the reports, Witter got into an argument with his girlfriend, 33-year-old Michelle Becker, because she wanted to go to the grocery store, but he wanted to go out. Well, hey, that's a plausible reason to try to basically chop somebody up with a machete. I think it's a valid reason. Again, I'm being sarcastic. Sorry, I can't help it. This verbal argument turned into physical. It turned physical when Witter began stabbing Becker with anything he had at his disposal, including a machete. So, you know what? The machete wasn't the first thing. That should be taken into his defense. Beckner's two daughters, ages 7 and 8, ran from the trailer oh, they were in a trailer, too. Hey, keep my mouth shut. Ran from the trailer screaming for help as Witter drove away from the scene. Neighbor Megan Kingbell ran to the girls and found Beckner bleeding profusely in the front yard. She had lacerations everywhere. He stabbed her with a screwdriver, a wrench, and something else, said Klingbeil. I tried to stop the bleeding. Well, it kind of reminds me, if he used all those kind of tools, it kind of reminds me of this old house. I guess it would be this old trailer. Not going to say the other word. It's on my mind, but I'm not going to say it. Paramedics arrived on the scene, but despite their best efforts, Beckner was pronounced dead at Kingston Hospital. Police would find Detter at the nearby grocery store, where he would be taken into custody without incident. Now he has a murder charge. He can add to his criminal history involving drugs, drunk driving, and theft. Well, that's a pretty good rap sheet for that guy. Beckner's daughters were first sent to the Child Protective Service, where they talked to counselors before being placed in custody of their biological father. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, but there was that one movie I saw in the trailers, and the movie actually is of, what was it called? Silent Night, Bloody Night. I think that's what the name of the movie is. Some like campy horror movie from the 70s. And the whole gist of the movie, like, this guy is like Santa Claus and he kills everybody except this little kid. And the kid experiences, there's a reason why I'm saying this now. I'm not going off on a wild tangent, which I usually do, or, a side story, but this one's going to actually go into this one, I think. But this movie called Silent Night, Bloody Night, or Deadly Night, something like that. I think it's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Well, the one soul for survivor was this little kid. He doesn't get killed, but when he grows up, he basically does exactly the same thing for the sequel. The kid, from experiencing his whole family getting killed by this psychopath Santa Claus, the kid grows up and he does the exact same wacky things. He starts killing people. He goes on a killing spree and does the exact same thing. So I'm like wondering, are these kids from experiencing their mother, are they going to be so traumatized they're going to grow up and be serial killers themselves? I don't know. I hope not. Okay, I'm going to the story about this. It's a picture of like a little infant, and it's got horns and like dagger teeth. So it's not a real picture, though, but I'm just curious now what this is all about. Rashida Caldhurry killed her baby by chucking him out the apartment window. That was on August 10th. Yeah, I really fucked up that name, but if you see this name, good luck if you can read it. New York, New York. Hours after her baby returned home from the hospital, police say 21-year-old Rashida killed her 3-week-old baby by chucking his ass out the 4th-floor window. And it does say that. I'm not making that one up. It's on Dreamin' Demon, so what do you expect? I just like the way they put that twist in there. It's really entertaining. Police were called to her apartment building after neighbors heard something hit the ground and discovered the baby lying in the pool of blood in the building's courtyard. The baby, last name's Ahmet, was pronounced dead at the scene, because these names are just ridiculous. One neighbor said she saw the baby's father, also named Ahmet, because I'm not going to pronounce his name. Actually, the father and the son had the same name. Crying, my first child in the courtyard. Investigators say that the baby had only been home for hours after returning from a 3-night stay in the hospital for a viral infection. Chalhurry, believed to be suffering from postpartum depression, first told detectives that the baby flew out the window after becoming possessed by a demon. She would later admit to toss him out because he was possessed by evil spirits and she wanted to ease his pain. So sorry, I'm like trying not to keep from laughing. It's not funny, I know. She is now charged with second-degree murder and intentional murder of a victim of less than 11 years old. She is currently on a suicide watch at Rikers Island, where she is being held without bail. Chowdhury, who has two other children around the age of 2 and 8, kind of makes that lady who tried to baptize her possessed baby in the irrigation ditch look a lot better, is basically how it ends. I know, I really just botched up that freaking story, but it was just too good to resist, I guess, for me. Yeah, I don't have much else that I can. Oh, actually, I do have something else I want to read, and I'm going to read this other one. There's a really cool picture. Please, okay, good. It's Mashable. It's bad, but not as bad. Really cool picture. Awesome footage of a rare white whale off the coast of Australia. August 10th, 6:10 p.m. on Monday evening, the department told Mashable Australia via email it has still not been able to confirm whether the sighting is that of, I guess they named the whale, of the Milogoo. It's just really cool looking. How else can I put it? It's a white freaking whale. So, the rare white humpback whale has been spotted off the coast of Queen's Island on Monday, and the whale watchers are hoping it is an Australian famous whale, Migaloo. Migaloo is the name of given by... Forget it. Not going to read it. You want to read it, folks? You can read it. Yeah, I really am just going to have a hard time reading this one. But there is some video. There's actually 2 videos, a couple of pictures. But it's like so freaking awesome. It's like a great... No, it's a humpback whale that's like basically like an albino, I guess. So I just had to throw that in the niche. I just thought that was so awesome. I know my one friend's going to pick on me. It's like, oh... Walter, the way you screw up these... He doesn't say it that way. I'm saying it this way. But he just enjoys the way I screw up these stories. The other one is, it's just amazing with Apple. I love Apple still. I'm going to try to stick with it as long as possible. DailyMail.com. Apple to unveil its new generations of iPhone and iPad on September 9th in the hopes of reviving the flag stock value. New iPhone and iPad set to be unveiled on September 9th, sources claim. Handset is expected to look almost identical to the current iPhone 6. Major overhaul on its internals and new Touch Force screen expected. Apple saw its stock price drop for the 5th straight day on Tuesday. So they're hoping this might kind of revive the slump in Apple products. There is more to that article, which honestly, I am not going to torture people of me really just destroying that. So I will do you a favor and I will not read it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I am easily distracted because I'm looking at Rhina's rock belly chain as she shows off her toned stomach in a tight crop top. And yes, I will be taking some business down later with that picture. Just, yeah. Anyway, this is another one. It was kind of funny, I guess. Daily Mail. The agony of learning you've been raised the wrong sex. A rare condition meant doctors weren't sure what sex Joe was born. So this kid was raised as a girl, and apparently it was a boy, and there was a reason for that. With support from Princess Diana, he was finally accepted as a girl. Then came out came a shattering discovery. That's on the Daily Mail anyway, by the way, right now, in case I screw anything up, which I will screw up this entire thing. Joe Holiday was born in 1988 with a rare condition, cloacal extrophy. That is these aren't words I've ever seen before, so please give me a little bit of a break. Basically, his genitals were never formed, leaving doctors stumped at his birth. In 1988, he legally became Joella after living as a girl since the age of 1. Now age 27, he tells of his transition to become a male once again. By the way, this kind of disease is not very pretty sight because I looked it up because I obviously can't read it correctly. And sometimes your organs aren't born properly inside or born outside, and then your genitals just don't form as when you're being made into either a male or female, so they're kind of both either kind of underdeveloped or something, so they're just there, like both the clitoris and the urethra, the penis, whatever. They're both there. It's not like a hermaphrodite though, because they're not quite completely formed, I think. Anyway, it says I'll read a little bit. Mum remembers, and it's M-U-M, mum, because it's a British thing, remembers it vividly, the look of horror of the midwives' faces as I was swiftly lifted up and away from her after my birth. And this, I guess, is from his perspective. All in good time, one of them responded as she rushed to wrap me in a white sheet, determined Mum would not see me. Her colleagues at Wardford Hospital in Lamberton Spa, Warwick's, had already darted out the door. Maybe I shouldn't have read that. Yeah, it's, again, folks, because it's a bit lengthy and I'll just continue to screw it up. But yeah, he was raised as a little girl. He did look like, when you're a little kid, you can't really tell if it's a boy or a girl. It did look like a girl to me. I guess the determinant factor is if he did not develop breast. I assume that's what happened. Then you know that, he was meant to be a boy, even though it was difficult to tell when he was just born. So, yeah, there's some interesting stuff on the Daily Mail, by the way. I'm trying to see, because I thought I saw something else that kind of stuck out. It probably didn't. It's just me just imagining it did. Yeah, not really anything that great. But, yeah, I'm just trying to see. Again, yeah, Daily Mail has some really cool stuff. You know what? They put up like a promo picture. I'm looking at that now, October, for American Horror Story Hotel. And they got, I guess that is, because I can tell by the tattoos on her arm, but she really looks different. Is Lady Gaga, because she's known for her wigs too. It was on Celebrity Buzz. Who else is excited about American Horror Story Hotel? Details on upcoming season and Lady Gaga's character. There really wasn't much of an article, I don't think. Maybe I just didn't open it right. Lady Gaga will literally own American Horror Story Hotel. The story unfolds. This is on Celebrity Buzz, by the way. The story unfolds. Details on Lady Gaga's debut in FX upcoming season of American Horror Story were revealed at the 2015 Summer TCA Tour on Friday, August 7th. AHS stars Sarah Paulson and Matt Bomer were joined by their co-stars, including Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett, Chloe Savini, and showrunners Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk. The cast was proud to unveil descriptions of the inhabitants in this season's horrific hotel. Gaga will play Elizabeth, the wealthy owner of the hotel, who will, very much like her actual persona, is consumed with art and fashion and people. Murphy described that she has an neurophis. You know what? I said this wrong yesterday, too. It looks like neurophis plan that is revealed in the first episode and plays out over the course of the season. Paulson is Sally, a sexy drug addict who hates Bates' character but loves Wes Bentley, she explains. She got a thing I don't think it's like anything I've done on this show. Bassett is Romana Royal, who is sexy yet not in a drug addict kind of way. She's a fabulous actress and rightfully a part of Gaga's squad. Bates is Iris, the hotel manager who does crossword puzzles in her spare time. Savini portrays the doctor named Alex, Bentley's wife, who is dealing with a great loss in their family, amongst other things. You will see Bomber as Donovan, friend of Gaga and Bates, who has very interesting relationships with the lady folk in her life. In his life, I'm sorry. Finn Whitrock is a hunky male model named Tristan Duffy who gets high on Lady Gaga because, really, who doesn't? And Caitlin Jackson describes his character, Will Drake, as a fashion icon who moves from New York to L.A. in an attempt to reestablish himself. I got to take a drink real quick. Dennis O'Hara is a Liz Taylor, but not the one that you will be thinking of. It does look like Dennis. Maybe that's Denise O'Hara is Liz Taylor. Is the Liz Taylor, but not the one you were thinking of. Instead, she is a movie icon cum hotel worker inspired by Cleopatra eye makeup, apparently with a shaved head. Finally, Bentley will play Detective John Lowe, who is investigating some of the Grimsley murders that led to his stay at the hotel. And there's like a little thing underneath, a little 1-minute teaser, I guess. They keep on showing his picture, by the way, on American Horror Story. But it was on another site, too. But this is on Celebrity Buzz. And it shows, like, Ben Affleck, but he looks, like, really out of shape. He looks, like, fat. Like, and I thought the man had to be in shape for this movie, but he's got the whole man boobs. He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Yeah, and he just looks like he's obese. The stressed-out looking Ben Affleck smokes a cigarette. But, yeah, he looks kind of out of shape, too. Maybe it's just the way the pictures were taken, but, yeah. Hopefully he put on this weight after he did the film. I don't want to see a fat Batman, trust me. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's got, like the Superman thing from Christopher Reeve with the big gut going on. So, like, Christopher Reeve's got that joke, like his utility belt when he played Superman on the TV show, the utility belt, according to Stern, it kept on going up his waistline to cover up his big gut. And it's like, well, Ben Affleck's going to have to do that as Batman because he looks like he's getting on the chunky side. And he actually wanted to do, a standalone movie of Batman. It's like, dude, you can't do it at this point. You're kind of like fighting against gravity right now, and not in a good way either. If there is such a thing as a good way. And by the way, if you look at my Facebook page, you're going to see a lot of pictures. I just got like, I know it's hard to believe. Me, obsessive compulsive? Really? But a bunch of pictures of Patty Mullen she put on her Facebook page. I just had taken them all and put them on mine. So I do that a lot, I know. So you know what? I'll probably just leave this botched up show tonight off where I have it right now. Probably went a little too long anyway. So everyone, hope you kind of enjoy my show. Hey, my annoying voice, hopefully you are able to tolerate it for as long as I've been on the air tonight. And I will try to be back again tomorrow, whatever. I'll see. I never know what's going on with me, trust me. Unless I have a really bad night, I'll be on and I'll be complaining like I always do. So everyone have a good morning. It's like 4 o'clock, so I'll talk to you later. And sign it off for now.